Hello, Stephen.
Hello, Gary.
Welcome back this week. It's been a few weeks since you and I have been on this together, so happy to catch up here with everyone else. We got 4 things on the docket this week. I'm going to kick us off. We had our very first webinar yesterday that was hosted by our 2 founders, Mitch and Rob, where they talked about the platform analytics platform. Obviously, a conversation we have every day internally, talking to a lot of customers about it. Mitch is leading the effort to raise awareness on this. I didn't have a chance to watch the webinar. I don't know if you did or not, but
I have not yet, but this one was specifically about the migration to platform analytics, right?
correct. So I haven't had a chance to see what they said. And I haven't actually had a chance, usually when we have these webinars, it's nice to learn from coworkers and things that maybe I didn't know. But participants and feedback is also where I learn a ton. And so I haven't had a chance to see that either yet. But
Yeah.
so anyway, excited to take that in. And if you haven't had a chance to watch that yet, we did post it onto the YouTube channel yesterday. So I will be going and watching it, and hopefully some of you also will be joining along and watching it also. Second topic this week is a little bit of a Friends of VividCharts segment. We've had,
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. So we've had a couple people that were talked to pretty regularly in the ecosystem that have released some new products. And so I'm always interested to see the products people are releasing. The first one was from Ty and Checklist Pro. He released Checklist Pro 3. Have you had a chance to look and see anything related to that application?
Only briefly, the thing that is of significant note, I believe, is that it is on now the next experience.
Yeah. And so I remember when he was starting this journey, we talked to him because we've done a lot on the next experience. So I think it's exciting. We've done a lot with the UI Builder and VividCharts' components on the UI Builder. And so now I saw a little demo, like the little 30-second demo, and you can go in and find the Checklist Pro component and put it into your workspaces. So it's exciting for Ty and his team. So
Yeah, very cool. I just saw a thread the other day in the ServiceNow Dev Slack channel talking about how you can leverage that. So the Checklist Pro can do a lot of things, but one of the values is that it can aid in license tracking or doing some things that would require people to have different licenses otherwise.
yeah, I know approvals is one of the things that they talk about a lot. So a second friend of VividCharts is Jace Benson. So he released a product that he's calling AI in a Box. I don't know all the details. I only know the basics of it, and that it's a self-contained kind of LLM tool and application that allows you to have your self-hosted AI for ServiceNow.
Okay.
I will say CJ and the Duke podcast just released an episode today where they did an interview with Jace. I also haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but if if you want details from Jace directly about what is their their podcast, I'm sure covers that. One of the things of note for me that I find interesting just from a software like business perspective is it's a flat rate application. And the reason why that's interesting for me is it follows a little bit of like this movement that the guys at 37 Signals have put out there. So they have this brand that they release, 37 Signals does, called once.com. And the idea is that some software should be just sold one time and then, it's yours. And I know Jace is a supporter of some of their stuff online. I see him sharing some of their stuff. So I wonder if he got inspired by that movement with his AI in a Box approach.
Yeah. Interesting. You said, is that something that's kind of a newer concept or something that we're hearing of more recently, you said?
Yeah. So the guys at 37 Signals are very opinionated and definitely thought leaders in software. And they just a few months ago released this once.com brand. And the idea is that, look, they still sell SaaS software. They have subscriptions for hey.com and Basecamp. And so they're very much in the SaaS world. But the idea that they're sharing is that some software should just be a one-time purchase thing. And I just found it interesting. And I would say most software that I interact with today probably is subscription requires a subscription so you can get updates and things like that. But
Mhm.
anyway, excited for Ty and Jace.
Yeah.
As they get this stuff out there. We like to get our products out in the world, and we know the efforts it takes to put anything out into the world. So congratulations to them.
Definitely. Go get them.
Okay, so third item on the docket is in your world, and so I'll tee up some questions because I don't know much about it. But Mitch this morning shared this horizon.servicenow.com resource for us.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my first question is, what is it?
Yeah. So this is the type of documentation that is often called a design system, but I'll read the little blurb that they have on the getting started page of this. This is the starting point to learn more about Horizon, from our approach to design and development to an introduction to ServiceNow application frameworks. Start here to learn about designing experiences with ServiceNow. So it was really this kind of, it goes from high to low conceptually to really tangible things. So conceptually about how to use some of these mechanisms, and really tangibly, like, here are the components in the at the atomic level that build up to create these experiences.
Yeah, I understand like how design systems work for like an internal team. We have that set up here. How would people like us and in our shoes or other developers building applications use something like this coming down from a platform like ServiceNow?
Yeah, I think it provides a really nice opportunity to separate the act of designing and thinking about the experience from building it, which can provide a lot of space to get the right thing built for the right people at the right time. And so, yeah, if they make available all of these elements and components and a guideline for how they should be used, in theory, that will provide a better outcome to the experience that you're trying to build. I'm sure it's equally as valuable for their internal teams too, because I know they have a lot of different systems and tons of different products to be able to support too. So having it documented really rigorously to kind of tease out the intent behind these things can be really helpful.
Yeah, they have a lot of product teams making sure that design system's well defined. I just like that, I'm sure they've had stuff like this internally. I think it's nice that they made it externally available. So
Yes.
At minimum, we get to understand the way they're thinking about these things.
Yeah, and I've found it helpful too, because, when we're designing experiences in VividCharts, sometimes we'll come across decisions that we need to make, and, we'll look to how it's done in ServiceNow as a starting point. And so this makes that also more easy for us to interrogate and assess.
Right. Okay. Fourth item on our docket was something that you have been talking about this week. So I'll let you kick this one off.
Yeah, so I've been in the ServiceNow ecosystem for just about a year now, and something that struck me early on and has continued to grab my attention is how willing and open how willing to share, how people in the community are willing to share with everyone. So people that work at ServiceNow, people in the community, in different channels like the ServiceNow Dev Slack and on Reddit, really eager to share information. And I have not experienced that in other industries or other ecosystems.
Yeah. I think in the Discord, I do see that's where I spend a little bit more of my time. And I do see a lot of people helping other people. The ecosystem's so big that it's pretty hard to know everything. And so it's very nice to know that you have people outside of even your company or your team that are willing to help if you do need it. And I do agree, in other environments I've been, it's felt a little more competitive across companies or products, and feels like there's always a zero-sum game that everyone's playing, where it doesn't necessarily feel that way here. I mean, we were just talking about Ty and Jace, right? Super excited for them. I think one of the things, so just an example of this, and I think this fits right in along with what you're saying, is earlier this week, one of the developer advocates, his name's Earl. I don't want to butcher his last name, but I'm sure people know him because he puts out a lot of content for the developers. He shared a really interesting and nice video just talking about how the community helped lift him up and just help support him back. I think it was during the COVID period. He had his first child, and he was just the community really gave him tips. And, I'll let people go watch his video on LinkedIn to see it. But it's just an example of like people aren't just getting professional help. Like people are making genuine friends through these communities. And I think we saw some of that at Knowledge, right? Like you see people like it's their chance to connect after 12 months of like helping each other out online.
Absolutely.
Okay, so those are the 4 things on our docket this week. Do you have anything else?
I think that's it. I'm good.
Okay. Well, we will see everyone next week.
Looking forward to it.